Hi, in this video, we will show you how to enrich your transformed data using Amazon Athena. So here in this demo, we will have an Amazon S3 bucket containing Parquet file. We're going to use the AWS Glue crawler to crawl that data and store it into the AWS Glue data catalog table. On the other side, we're going to use the Amazon Athena to enrich this data. So we're going to see that how to enrich that data with using the Amazon Athena view basically. So here, so I'm going to show you how we can create this Amazon Athena view, and then how to run the required data, required queries on that enriched data, and eventually we see that the real value of the data here. So in this video, I will show you from scratch to end, how you can extract the raw data, make it into a transformed data, and then on that transformed data, how we can further enrich it with using the Amazon Athena view. And then finally, we're going to also see that how we can run the queries, which will give us the very accurate and enriched the data. So as you see here, so this is my Amazon S3 bucket where I have the the raw data in the form of Parquet files. So if I go to this bucket, so this is my transformed bucket. It contains a Parquet file data, and you see that it is a huge data, by the way. So on this bucket, we're gonna do a crawling by using the AWS Glue crawler. So I will go to the Glue crawler. So here I have already created a Glue crawler. Let me show you how to create that as well. So this is the Glue crawler I have created, and I have already ran it basically, by the way, right? So I'm not gonna rerun it again, but let me show you how did I create that. So basically, it's very simple. You're gonna go to the create crawler and point it to that particular bucket. Right, so here add data source and go to the S3 bucket, right, and choose that particular bucket that we have just now seen, right? So here you can always choose something like this, click on this one, right, choose it, and put a forward slash and rest all options, rest all options you can keep it default like this, right? So here you're going to use the IAM role which has the admin access like that. Rest all options we're going to keep it default. In the output, here you need to choose the databases. So I have chosen the default databases. Table prefix I have not added anything, and the maximum table threshold also not configured anything. And crawler schedule is basically on demand, and click on next. And that's how basically I clicked on a create crawler, and it has created a crawler for me. And this is how the crawler, that crawler looks like that. And once the crawler is been created, I have run the crawler. So if I open this particular crawler, it has successfully completed, by the way. Now let's go to the the main topic of this particular demo. That is, once we have the transformer data, how we can further enrich it. Okay, so here if you see that, so the table name is created with the my bucket name. So this was my bucket name, and if you show you the location, so this was my location of the source data. So this bucket is basically data present underneath that bucket is being extracted, transformed, and stored in this data catalog table. And this is the schema if you see here. So it contains a lot of columns as well. Now I have the data extracted from the Amazon the S3 bucket and got it stored in the data catalog table. Now we're gonna go to the another side, that is on the Athena, and then we will see how does it looks. So once the your table is been been created in the AWS Glue crawler, you can just go to the Amazon Athena. So if you see here, I'm currently in the Amazon Athena, and then I went to the query editor option. So here I have chosen the work group equal to primary. So these are all basically primary configurations that you need to maintain. And then in the left hand side, there is a data sources. So here we're going to use the AWS data catalog because our table is in the AWS data catalog. Then we're going to use the database that is default. That's where if you see that underneath this databases, so I have a three tables. In right now we just created this table with the way of group crawlers, right? And if I expand it, then you can see that it has the columns that we have seen in the schema of the this particular table. Now I'm gonna run some dummy queries on that one so that you can realize that so you can realize that so it contains the data. So let me, I need to change this. Basically this is not my bucket name, so this is not my table name. So I'm going to copy this my table name, and we're going to run this query. So what does that query is does is basically it runs a the select count from the basically it will counting the table values present in that particular table. So what I'm doing is before I do the enrichment the task, let me show you the count. Okay, so if you see that it has 2,93,000, sorry, it's 23 lakhs 37,620 counts, which is very huge number of data, right? And then I will go to the another query, so that also you can run it on the same table. If you see here, it's basically it's another format of query that we are running on this raw data. So remember that. So till now we are running the query on a not enriched data, right? So now how I can do a enrichment is basically by using the Athena views. If you see here, so right now we have two options here. One is tables, the other one is views. Other, view is basically, it's basically you are creating a subset of the table, right? Let's see, how does that looks. Basically, let me do that. So here is the query. I'm going to share this query in the video's description. Even I'm going to share the data sources. I'm going to share you the this query in the video's description. You can find it from there and try to learn it. Okay. So here, let me show you the query. What does that it actually does? Let me expand it a little bit better one. So here, we are doing a create or replace view, in the sense it just creates a view with this name as a select case from vendor ID. So this is the basically, the trick of doing the the view. We are actually doing a lot of the complex query here. If you see, modifying the pickup data time, drop time as well, in the case you see that, right? So this is one use case of creating a particular view that you need here. And okay, so as I'm going to give this query in the video's description, I need not to be go through in detail because it's a little bit of complex. So once you have the query, make sure that you point it to the table, that is original transformed data table. This is the one. And once you run it, basically what it happens, it's going to create a view. So here you go, right? So it has what does, if you see the output of this particular query, it is not outputting you anything as a data. It is basically giving you the one kind of it is actually giving you the one kind of the output that is creating a view. So here it is creating a view. If I can expand this one, so you see that it has this much data format, which contains enriched data. So now, instead of querying to this particular table, we're going to query to this view, okay? And that's where we're going to have the enriched data, analytics, right? So now running a query on the raw data is different than running a query on the enriched view data, right? So now it says that select these many columns with a certain functionality on that one. If you see here, so it's a bit of a complex query. And from, if you see here, from where, from the yellow trip data, which is our view table, all right, and then group by certain configurations. So if I run this query now, we will have the output as a query output. If you see here, and this looks to be very enriched data, right? So and that is the specialization of this particular enrichment of your data, right? All right, so with that note, this was very short and very quick, but very important aspects while playing with the data. That is how you can enrich your data with using this kind of mechanism of the Amazon Athena. All right, so with that note, thank you very much for watching my videos. Kind request, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. With that note, thank you, thanks a lot, and see you in the next video.